Kyle, we're going to start with you since you're already
Oh, yeah, he pulled off the board. You got to start with
I
him.
brought the whiteboard today. I got to figure out which camera's on me. Can I get a one shot here? Can I get a tight on me here? Can we get? Yeah, thank you. I hear our friends in the control room. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the art of the halfback screen today. I'd love it if I could see on the return a tighter shot. If
there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's this one right here.
This is called Harry, halfback slow screen. And the keys that I have to remember as an offensive lineman, because we have so many screens as an offense, is there's 3 out. And when I say 3 out, I'm talking about these middle 3 guys here, the play side guard, the center, and the backside guard. And I'm going to show you what 3 out means. So when you run these slow screens, here, rat kill. So when you run these slow screens, it's often in these long yardage situations, third and long, third and 7 plus, second and disadvantageous. You get the defense in a position that says, okay, we have to defend the pass. And then it allows the offensive lineman to take their pass sets. And the pass sets look a little bit differently on this play from past plays. So for the offensive tackles, the play side tackle wants the rusher to beat him where, Lige? He wants him to beat him inside.
Okay. They want you to rush up and inside.
Yep. So the offensive tackle sets back. He allows the guy to go inside. The backside tackle is just pro. He's inside out protection, but it's those middle 3. I say 3 out. It's the play side guard who is going to block this 3 technique, depending on how the center calls this thing. The center can either go away from the play or towards the play. If he goes towards the play, it's 4 hands on that play side defensive tackle. You get a split hand release. Oftentimes, that's where you see the play side defensive tackle hit the ground because he's rushing, and then they let him go, and he gets a baseball turn. We love that, by the way.
I bet you do.
And then the coaching point for the front side guard, release as flat as you can, and you want to hit anything that's on this sidewalk, the lateral sidewalk. Now, running backs, you're going to be following him and the center. The center's the second guy to release right behind that play side guard. The center's job, if there's a hugger, go get the hugger immediately. If it's man coverage or if it's zone coverage, get out here. Don't go past the numbers. Oftentimes, the issue you see with running backs and with blockers in the screen game is you run wide past the numbers, and then you don't have your ideal sidewalk for these plays. The sidewalk is the numbers, so it'll go right here. This is where you're going to see those running backs turn up.
To speak about that, we saw that in the Jets game, right? Tyron Smith got a little bit too wide, and we saw Taron Johnson be able to outside move him, go inside, and make a big tackle, which probably would have been an explosive game if Tyron Smith just, like you said, the angle was right and didn't get too wide on that screenplay.
So I'm going to draw it really simply right here with 3 dots, okay? So the play side guard is going to go with the center right here to block this defensive tackle. We're going to let the defensive tackle take a bite of the earth here when we slap him. Then you release flat. The center goes and gets, whether it's the mic or whoever shows from up top here, the most dangerous. The third guy right here, one of my favorite jobs in football, the backside guard in a halfback slow screen. You know what his job is called?
What is it?
Rat killing. So the rat killer is the backside guard. He's going to go get anybody that's retracing, trying to chase that running back. Now, in recent years, you've had to get really smart about how you get these guys blocked because you don't want to do anything unnecessarily rough, right? So a lot of butt blocks, a lot of boxing.
No blindside blocks.
I think the halfback slow screen, the halfback slip screen is one of the best plays in football. Obviously, a lot of teams run it in these scenarios. That's why they run it, because you can get a team leaning forward, you smack them in the back. Next thing you know, you find a way to sneak through there. And there are only a handful of teams that do this really well. And the best that I've been a part of was the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs do such a fantastic job of this, and it starts with the installation. And you and I both know that these coaches, they love installing the playbooks. They love getting at the front of the room in the meeting at the beginning of the week saying, these are the screens we have up, these are the runs we have up, these are the passes we have up. In the Chiefs building, the run game was handled by Andy Heck. I would imagine now that Matt Nagy's there, the third down and the 2-minute stuff is handled by Nagy probably. But when the screen game comes up for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's Andy Heck at the front of that room. It's a passion project for him. And he is somebody that has found a way to make these plays be so much fun. There's so many different wrinkles and gadgets that make the Chiefs playbook awesome in terms of screen, but the player's understanding of the screen game. The center, Creed Humphrey, is always on the right guy. He's always in the right spot. Trey Smith, always kicking out that guy on the boundary. And I think they have a really good grip and grasp on the slow screen game. And that's why I wasn't really tripping when they were talking about they don't have any receivers. I'm like, they can just use their running backs as receivers. Another wrinkle to this, you get the 2x2. That's 2 receivers on each side. You get the 3 guys to release. If it's a disadvantageous look on this side, you can throw that tunnel screen backside. And just last week, we saw Caleb Williams. We saw Caleb Williams doing the San Francisco from 2 years ago. Pump fake here, pump fake here. We get
down the
tight end. There are a million ways to do screens. I love the screen game. Hopefully one day we'll be able to, maybe I'll come up with a cut up or something to be able to show you guys and have it here.
Well, we have a bunch of clips.
The screens
I
are
went
amazing.
back and watched every explosive screen on the season. We had the 6 screen, the throwback.
Flea flicker screen.
So if you run that back there, you take a look at where they are in the numbers. If you run that, just that last one back. So take a look at the 40 where they end up on the left side. That's the sidewalk. Good coaches say that's the edge of the earth. If you go past that number laterally, you're doing it wrong. You want to stay inside and give that running back the opportunity to cut up and follow his convoy. When you get outside, you got nobody out there. You can see the numbers. It's 1 running back. It's going to be 3 or 4 Ravens. You stay inside, you have a chance. You can even cut it back there to the opposite hash. There's so much depth to the screen game. It would take 4 hours.
Literally.
But I love it. I was laying in bed thinking about it last night.
Yeah, so I went back and watched every single explosive screen that we've seen on the year when I saw that you had done that, just because I was just to get my bearings straight of who's, what screens are working, what aren't. There are a few that were like some go-tos that I saw throughout the year that have really worked. One is power away play action to a tight end on the backside has hit a lot of people with it. So the hinge blocking tight end on the backside ends up being the guy you throw it to. That's been worked for like 3 different teams this year. But I think the 2 biggest things I saw that are necessary for a good screen, one is the sell, because the quickest way to blow up a screen is to have defensive linemen figure out what's going on. Those are the guys. So offensive linemen selling what that is. And then
when you say sell it, it's get on the defensive lineman. Get on him. Be aggressive with your set in your hands.
Have it look like a pass. The quickest way is when people know, oh, I didn't block you at all. Then it's like, okay, I know this isn't a pass. When you just slap them by, that's when you know. Other things then is the timing. If you can catch a blitz, if you can catch guys
I love that.
when they're really dropping deep off a play action fake and you get this convoy ahead of them, like right there, that was that play action tight end backside screen that I talked about that numerous teams have hit big this year. So the timing and the sell are the 2 biggest things with it. You can't, that's why a 1st and 10 screen isn't often a great call, depending on what you pair with it. A 2nd and short screen isn't going to do much for you. They're going to be pressed right up at the line of scrimmage for you. So it's the timing, it's the sell, and then you got to have when
you guess blitz and pair it with a screen. It's like when one of the great hitters in baseball guesses fastball. It's like, we are going to crush this ball, and it's going to be a huge play.
Because you took 5 guys who could have played, and they're all out of the play.
And they say don't block blitzers.
Let them just get up the field.
See
what I love about the evolution of the screen game is kind of what we talked about before, is that they've kind of changed it where not only is there one running back screen off it, but depending on if guys have the leverage on the outside, you have a 2 on 3 or 3 on 2 on the outside, you can keep the ball and throw the wide receiver screen. And to your point, Mike, sometimes they make the run look off it, especially a team like the Baltimore Ravens that pull guards. Like there was one Sunday versus the Commanders where they pulled the left side guard, Patrick McCarry, right? And it looked like running back screen to the right, but it was actually a tunnel screen to Zay Flowers, and it goes for like 50 yards because you hold that linebacker when you pull that guard. So again, like it's the chess matchup between the offense and defensive line. And from a defensive perspective, the easiest way to kill screens is when you have defensive linemen retracing their steps, running inside and out, right? When you recognize it and you put that foot in the ground and retrace your steps, that's how you can destroy screens on defense.
Because we may have the look, we may have it blocked up, we may release on time, but if there's a guy that's winning the Charlie Hustle Award coming from the backfield, you can get tackled for a 1-yard gain, and then it's a waste of a great play call.
All right. Good screen talk.
Oh, yeah, that was really good.
One more RPO.
Yeah, I mean, like he's talking about, the RPO has been widely publicized. It's the run-pass option, and oftentimes now it's the pass-run option.
Yeah.
But it's the SPO that you're talking about. It's we're going to have a screen called, but also be aware of the pass if we get the advantageous look on the left side or the right side. So these quarterbacks, there's so much on their plate. And when, with the SPO, the RPO, the offensive line just knows one play, right? We're doing our assignment. It's up to the quarterback to make us right.
Yep.
We don't know what's going on behind us. Make us right, quarterback, and we'll block this thing up. SPO versus RPO.